Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners regular Tuesday board meeting. For introduction purposes, my name is Todd Wilchin. I am the chair of the county board this year. On my left, we have fellow commissioners Bill Avery and Deb Shore. On my right, we have fellow commissioners Roma Amundsen and the vice chair, Jennifer Brinkman. Joining us this morning from the county attorney's office is Jennifer Holloway. From the county clerk's office, we have Corey Beatty and Monet McCollum. From the county board office, we have the chief administrative officer, Carrie Egan, and the deputy chief administrative officer, Ann Ames. Now, if you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Beatty, would you please start the agenda?
Before we begin, I'd like to announce that a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff at the front of the hearing room. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, July 31st, 2018.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last Board of Commissioners meeting held last Tuesday. Any discussion or corrections? Commissioner Brinkman?
I've got one quick correction, which is in item 3J, the last sentence, culvers should be culverts with a T.
Any other corrections? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundsen?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2A is approval of all claims processed through August 7th, 2018.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve all claims processed through today. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundsen?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next, under special presentation, we have the Lancaster County Department of Corrections Employee of the Year, Officer Todd Gosha.
Good morning, Brad Johnson, Director, Lancaster County Department of Corrections. We're here this morning to recognize Officer Gosha as our Employee of the Year. Do you want to read the?
Sure. Do you have a copy? Thank you. Todd Gosha has been an officer with the department since August 2012. Until recently, Todd spent most of the last 3 years assigned to the classification department. Some of his duties include completing inmate classification, correcting fingerprint cards, and population management. Todd is very knowledgeable in regards to the classification policies and manual, and he regularly assists the other classification staff when needed. During a supervisor transition of the classification supervisor, Todd provided Sergeant Levitt with an abundance of information, guidance, and advice. Due to his experience and knowledge of the classification process, Todd was selected to remain in the position for an additional shift bid. With his assistance, inmate classification has remained consistent through the transition of supervisors. In addition to his normal duties, Todd shows his willingness to be a team player by reporting to booking to help when they are busy, assisting the work release coordinator by completing drug testing, moving individuals that have been approved for work release, responding to emergencies, and assisting with searches. Todd also assists with these tasks on a day-to-day basis without being asked.
So, as the narrative illustrates, Todd's proven to be an outstanding resource for this division, although he just recently moved out back onto shift, so he's continuing his excellent service there, and I just think it's important to recognize folks that do such a great job. Thank you.
Officer Gosha, on behalf of the Lancaster Board of Commissioners, I would like to present you with this plaque that commemorates your being selected as Employee of the Year. And you know, this is really quite an honor for you. You've been involved with the corrections for 6 years. Actually, this is your anniversary month, I believe.
Yep.
Yep. And so what you have actually done is you have demonstrated leadership by your willingness to step up and do the additional work to make sure that the transitions are very, very smooth, and to make sure that everything is handled appropriately in the corrections department with the classification. So consequently, congratulations. We wish you the best, and for a very long time, we hope that you are a member of our team.
Thank you very much. First, I just want to thank the board for taking the time to recognize a corrections employee. I'd like to thank the administration for the honor as well. I want to thank the folks that nominated me for the recognition and the support that they've provided. I also want to thank friends and family for their understanding and support. It is a difficult job. They have to put up with a lot, and I'm glad they do. Lastly, I want to thank my fellow officers and the jail staff who make it possible to do what I do every single day. So, thanks again.
Commissioner Shore?
Well, Officer, it is a joy for us to honor you, and I'm sure to be recognized by your fellow coworkers as the Employee of the Year. We spent a lot of time talking with Brad, and a lot of times the answer to the questions we ask is, it depends on the classification. So we know that the work that you do is important to the safety of the inmates and to the safety of your fellow workers, and really to help prepare them for life after release. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone here you'd like to introduce, or?
I have my father-in-law here, and
Photographer.
a lot of my fellow coworkers, so thanks to them for showing up.
Well, and again, thank you for your service. And again, as Commissioner Shore mentioned, the work you do is very important to the community as a whole, because of the population that we do house out there. People don't understand a lot of times what classification means, but it is one of the most important jobs that we have out there, making sure that the individuals are placed in the appropriate
Yes,
housing unit is very important. So we very much appreciate your work.
thank you very much.
Ms. Beatty, would you like to proceed with the correlating item?
Sure. Under new business, item 4A is a request for an exceptional circumstances award under Personnel Rule 17.14D for Officer Todd Gosha, Lancaster County Corrections, for a one-time cash award of $500.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the exceptional circumstance award for Todd Gosha. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next, under new business, is an agreement between Lancaster County, Region 5 Systems, and the Bridge Behavioral Health for the bridge to assist the county and Region 5 by including in the services it presently provides the detention of individuals who are in emergency protective custody. The term of the agreement is July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019.
Jen Holloway, Deputy County Attorney. I was just up here to let you know that there was a change in one of the provisions. There was a correction made from, instead of it saying 10 days, it said then days. So we had them sign an addendum quick, so that correction is attached to the back of the contract.
So we need to approve the contract with the addendum.
Correct.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Region 5 Systems and the Bridge Behavioral Health with the addendum. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4C is a professional services agreement with Sovol Solutions LLC on behalf of the Department of Community Corrections for consulting services to evaluate the sobriety program called 24/7. The term of the contract is from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. The cost to the county is not to exceed $67,500.
Good morning, Kim Etherton, Community Corrections. I'm here in the event you have questions about the contract. This is a continuation of we had this contract with Sovol Solutions last year. We're just renewing the contract with him to continue to collect data and analyze it.
Any questions from Ms. Heatherton?
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the service agreement with Sovol Solutions. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4D is a contract with Legacy International, Inc., doing business as Legacy Inmate Communications, to provide inmate phone services for the Lancaster County Youth Services Center. The term of the contract is from July 23rd, 2018 through July 22nd, 2019, with the option to renew for 3 additional one-year terms.
Michelle Schindler, Director, Lancaster County Youth Services. For clarification, this is a rollover contract. It does meet the FCC guidelines. To clarify, our facility, myself and the staff, strongly believe in communications with the youth and their families. Every youth does get a free phone call to their parent or legal guardian. And then we have a behavior management program where they, in turn, each level from displaying positive behavior, kind of like gold stars that kids earn free phone calls. So this legacy phone call system is used primarily when they want to contact friends. None of our phone calls are taped, for clarity. We quit taping back when Dennis was a public defender. And it also allows people in the public, if their children are getting phone calls from youth that they don't want them to have contact with, they can call in and block phone calls coming to their house. It allows for victims to do blocks for phone calls coming in. And we put in all the public defenders, all the attorneys, and all probation in there, so they're free phone calls, none of which are taped.
Any questions? The only question I have is that are all the calls free, or is there an opportunity for youth to actually pay for phone calls?
Right. We give, for parents or legal guardians, 1 10-minute phone call a day automatically, plus they earn more. The legacy phone calls, there is a small amount of revenue we bring in. It's about $6,500 a year, which in turn, when we do our budget, we look at that revenue, and then we match what the revenue is in our programming line item so that we can purchase incentives. We have no commissary in our facility. So we purchase snacks, good shampoo, good cream rinse, a variety of different things that the youth can purchase from good behavior. So we do bring in a small amount of revenue.
Okay. That becomes somewhat of an inmate benefit program.
Correct, yes.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Legacy International. Any additional discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin. Motion carries 5-0. 4E is a sub-grant agreement with the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Children and Family Services, Child Support Enforcement, on behalf of the Clerk of the District Court for the Child Support Enforcement Title 4D State Program. The term of the agreement is October 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2019. The Department of Health and Human Services will reimburse the county an estimated amount of $426,405.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the sub-grant agreement with the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, the Division of Child and Family Services, Child Support Enforcement. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item F is a sub-award agreement with the State of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services for child support enforcement services provided by the Lancaster County Attorney's Office for the period of October 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2019. The county shall be reimbursed an estimated amount of $1,551,000 for the services.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the sub-award agreement with the State of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services for child support enforcement services provided by the County Attorney's Office. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item G is a sub-grant agreement with the State of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services for child support enforcement services provided by the Lancaster County Child Support Referee for a period of October 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2019. The county shall be reimbursed an estimated amount of $285,500 for the services.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the sub-grant agreement with the State of Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services for the child support enforcement services provided by the Lancaster County Child Support Referee. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item H is a contract with Data Shield Corporation using the State of Nebraska contract number 81421004 to provide on-site secure document shredding. The initial term of the contract is July 15th, 2018 through July 14th, 2019. The pricing will be pursuant to the State of Nebraska's contract, and the cost of the county is not to exceed $5,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Data Shield Corporation. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item I is a memorandum of understanding with Enterprise Rent-A-Car Company Midwest using the State of Nebraska contract number 7231104 to provide third-party short-term vehicle rental services. The term is from the date of execution through February 16th, 2019, with the option to renew for one additional one-year term. The pricing will be pursuant to the State of Nebraska's contract. The cost to the county is not to exceed $15,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the MOU with Enterprise Rent-A-Car Company Midwest. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4J is a contract with Stericycle to provide annual services of infectious waste pickup and disposal. The contract shall be effective upon execution by all parties. The cost to the county is not to exceed $5,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Stericycle. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item K is a recommendation from the County Personnel Policy Board to approve the creation of an Electronic Devices Human Resources Policy Bulletin.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the electronic devices policy. Any discussion?
I've got a quick
Commissioner
question.
Brinkman?
I don't know if anybody can answer it. I was confused by the policy including stricken material in it. There was language that was stricken. Was that the recommendation from the policy board? Is that how it was presented to them?
It was presented amended. They had some amendments. Do you need me to?
I know who you are. If you want to announce yourself for the record, that's fine.
They had a few changes they wanted us to make previously in June, so we made some changes, and this is the newest version that they approved.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And for the record, that was Ann Ames, the Chief Deputy Administrative Officer. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item L is a recommendation from the purchasing agent and county engineer to award a contract for asphaltic joint sealant to Maxwell Products, Inc. The estimated amount is $20,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the contract for asphalt joint sealant to Maxwell Products. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item M is an agreement with H.R. Bookstrom Construction, Inc. for drop pipes and culvert maintenance. The anticipated completion date is October 26, 2018. The cost to the county is $426,605.50.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So drop pipes are the pipes that are constructed adjacent to bridges that help drop the flow, stormwater flow from the ditches down to the major tributary that they drain to. And so this is a contract to repair various drop pipes around some of our more significant structures in Lancaster County.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with HR Bookstrom Construction for the drop pipes and culvert maintenance. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item N is a contract with Scadeller Construction for crack sealing bituminous surfacing. The cost to the county is $110,700. Work is to be completed in accordance with the contract.
Pam Damon, Lancaster County Engineer. This contract is to seal cracks in our asphalt at various locations around the county. We do have we seal cracks ourselves, and then we also have a contract crack sealing operation that we do every year. This helps preserve our asphalt surfaces.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with Scadeller Construction. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item O is a grant contract with the YMCA of Lincoln in the amount of $9,000 for the Teen Night Schools Days Out program. The contract is funded by Juvenile Justice Prevention Funds for the period of July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with the YMCA of Lincoln for the Teen Night School Days Out program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next are consent items. These include amendments to the following contracts. County Contract C180137 with Schemmer Associates, Inc. to add additional plan preparation services related to structures B147 and E117. The contract will be increased $4,650 for the additional service. The revised total cost to the county is not to exceed $30,750. County Contract C150368 with Wayland Engineering Company using the WSCA NASPO contract, MA number 81297 for LED emergency light bars, siren warning accessories, and other related accessories. The amendment renews the contract from August 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2019. The estimated cost of the county is not to exceed $4,500. County Contract C150464 with Sapp Brothers Petroleum, Inc. for the annual supply of lubricants. The amendment reflects a price increase and renews the contract from September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019. The expenditures for Lancaster County shall not exceed $57,200. County Contract C15465 with TCA Outdoor Power for annual supply of lubricants. The amendment renews the contract from September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019. The expenditures for Lancaster County shall not exceed $1,000. We also have an amendment to County Grant Contract C15407 with NMC Inc. for the annual supply of Caterpillar filters. The amendment renews the contract from August 28th, 2018 through August 27th, 2019. The cost of the county shall not exceed $23,200. And County Contract C15407 with Language Line Services, Inc. for language interpretation services, phone and video. The amendment renews the contract from August 1st, 2018 through July 31st, 2019. The cost of the county shall not exceed $1,000. We also have right-of-way contracts with the following. Moz Limited on North 176th Street and Fletcher Avenue in the amount of $2,439. Wayne Howling on North 112th Street and Agnew Road in the amount of $1,207. Wayne Howling on North 110th Street and Agnew Road in the amount of $207. And Suzanne Short on North 110th Street and Agnew Road in the total amount of $223. And then receive and place on file the Clerk of the District Court's monthly report for July 2018, as well as the County Clerk's monthly report for July, the Assessor Register of Deeds monthly report for July, and the Lancaster County 2018-19 proposed budget.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
and Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda but related to county business, but not related to Board of Equalization? Yes.
Hello.
Could you please sign in, put your name there for the
Yeah,
record?
my name is Andrew Knight. I live at 5225 South Windlesham Court in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'll sign in at the end here. So I'm here because I actually want to request a moratorium on special permits for commercial feedlots in the county. This is an action due to something going on with the Planning Commission right now. We've had 3 consecutive meetings regarding special permit SP 18025, and so far have not achieved enough votes to reach a final action. I've actually talked with Jennifer Holloway with the county's attorney office about this matter, and she informed me of the process by which a text amendment can be made to the zoning regulations regarding this matter. However, I think the opposition in this case, we don't find that process is going to be fast enough. The applicant is the first mover here, and part of the problem that we have is this has been a very controversial issue. There's been over 180 letters from the public coming in. As I said, we've had 3 public hearings with over 8 hours of testimony, and it's really been dragging on. I'm opposed. I represent my family's farm, which is the Claiborne Partnership. It's got 290 acres directly adjacent to the property in question. What I would propose is we really need to look at this as a county and get some committees put together with some non-biased individuals to really look at our zoning regs and what needs to be in that section. The specific section I'm interested in is 13.035, and that is pertaining to commercial feedlots and their special permits. If you look at a couple of our bordering counties, Seward County has more specific requirements than we do for this type of operation. In the particular case of this operation, they would have required a half-mile setback from any residences, and in that case, there would have been many houses that would make this site unqualified. Lancaster County has nothing specific in our zoning regs requiring setbacks for these operations. So we think that is a big gap, and we're really looking to try to do something to stop that from stop the Planning Commission from continuing to hear on this matter. We've already had 3 public hearings. We aren't getting a unanimous decision, and it's taking a lot of time from a lot of people that didn't ask for this to come to us. And we just recognize that I think there's some holes in our existing regulations. There is a state law that was passed in 2015 that created some more objective criteria that counties can adopt for evaluating these types of feedlots. That was LB 106 in 2015. It created a couple of mechanisms by which some objective criteria were determined, and that's kind of governed by the Department of Agriculture. And they do have published setback limits and so forth, but our county has not adopted them. And I just want to voice my opinion that we really need to look at doing something to stop this process or suspend it until we can actually evaluate what the intent of that law is. And I understand that this is not exactly the normal process, but I think it's eventually headed here anyway, because whenever it does get enough votes, it'll probably get appealed. So it'll be something we talk about in the future. But and right now I'm asking for that moratorium because I think we really need to reevaluate it before it comes out of the Planning Commission, as evidenced by the amount of time we've spent on it. Do you have any questions for me?
This is public comment. This is really designed for you to speak to us, and then
Okay.
if anyone has any questions, but no, typically it's just an opportunity for you to
Okay.
speak about your item not on the agenda.
Okay. So that's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda? Okay, please continue with the announcements.
The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, August 9th, 2018 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Equalization will meet on Thursday, August 9th, 2018 at 10 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building to take final action on 2018 real property valuation protests. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, August 14th at 9 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
Move we adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, that concludes the Tuesday board meeting for the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners. I'm going to go ahead and start the agenda for the Lancaster County Board of Equalization. Ms. Beatty, would you please start the agenda?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff at the front of the hearing room. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, July 17th, 2018.
Move approval.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, July 17th. Any discussion or corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discussion of 2018 real property valuation protests. I do have a sign-in sheet, if that's okay with the board. I'll just go ahead and read people off one at a time.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a mention for
Sure.
housekeeping. What we have is that in the past, the county board has conducted a final meeting where we meet and hear comments from the public, and then we take action immediately following at the conclusion of the meeting. This year, we've decided to modify that procedure just slightly. So what will happen this year is that we'll give people an opportunity to speak to the board about their protests, and then we'll give the contractor that we have contracted with, who is handling our referee process, a couple days to review those issues and provide a report back to the county board. And that will happen on Thursday at 10 o'clock. That's the Board of Equalization meeting that we'll have on Thursday. So we won't take final action today. In the past, we've felt that it might have been felt a little rushed, and the referee coordinator and his staff need more time. These are more complicated, given the fact that they are commercial reevaluations for the most part, but there will be probably some residential as well. So again, we're not going to take final action today. We won't take final action until Thursday. With that, I know we do have individuals that have signed in, and the clerk's office does have a list, but if once we go through the list, if there's anyone else that has not signed in, we'll be given the opportunity to present that information as well. What we have is we've got 5 minutes allotted for each presentation, but that, if there are additional questions from the county board, we can certainly extend that time. So with that, Corey, would you go ahead and get started?
Okay, first person on the list is Ron Pella. I believe this is for Michael. Is that correct? Michael Pella, and this is protest 18423.
Commissioner Brakeman has a question.
Corey, can I ask you a quick question? Which is that when I reviewed the materials that we were given yesterday, there's now a new section. Is that what's come in from yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So if you refresh your screen, you should see a lot more.
Yes.
than was there
Okay,
yesterday.
thanks.
Yep. And I do have stuff available on the Elmo too. If I need to pull something up, just let me know. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ron Pella, and I'm the father of Michael, who I'm representing today. I believe that you've had a chance to review what I had faxed to you. I tried to take a approach of simplicity and straightforward. So I guess I would ask you at this time, if you've had a chance to review that, do you have any questions for me before I have a small statement to make?
Just go ahead and make the statement, and then we'll follow up with questions.
Okay. As we have assembled and shared with you a very direct and best approach for the assessment value, market value, of the subject property. As you can see, the subject property and the two comparable properties provide by the assessor's office the dates of construction, condition, date of sale, and purchase, and all within 1 year of one another. The only outstanding difference is the subject property has fewer amenities. Example, no fireplace, kitchen floor, linoleum, cabinets painted, and no jacuzzi tub. We believe we are requesting a taxable value that is equitable and equalized by the sales price and the depreciation given to the comparable properties and to the community. And that finishes my statement. And I'd be happy to answer any questions as to my math. I provided, I think, as Exhibits A and B, the comparables, and that's very easy for you to track those numbers of date of sale, property amounts, and the differences in that and the evaluation.
Any questions?
Somebody have a question for me, or I'll believe you didn't look at it.
No, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and I think what we kind of are looking for is, when we talk about the alternative value, which, you know, is what we're looking for, and, I mean, you've provided that, and it's just, the question is whether or not that is what the market value is.
Yeah, I would say that when I went at first out at Lancaster Manor for the hearing out there, I tried to approach it in the same manner, and of course, thinking that when I left, I had provided sufficient evidence of what I was talking about. I mean, it's simple. It's there. It's not off of my website or anywhere else. It comes from you. The comparables come from you. The sale prices are there. Everything's verifiable. So everything that we say here is factual. And so I was quite shocked when I got the letter and there was a /50,000 deduction and no explanation as to why it was deducted, what was it deducted for. I guess I'm in a little bit of a concern as to why they wouldn't have been more detailed as to at least what they were making consideration, because when I got there, I was reading from my piece of paper and I said, if you will, would you answer me what this rating is here? We're satisfactory, and then we're above satisfactory plus. What is that? And then I was given, no, that is not rating, that's condition. So I said, well, then that ought to be your answer. The condition is poor plus. I mean, I know, because I've been working there since the day they bought it. And so anyway, if you don't have any further questions, I'm done.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. Thank you for listening.
Next, we have, and I apologize if I can't read the name, is it Chad Schmidt or Chad Schmidt?
No.
Chuck, maybe? Chuck Schmidt? Oh, you know.
Tom Kubert, Lancaster County Referee Coordinator. Mr. Schmidt was here. He has submitted some information to the assessor's office, and they're reviewing their records based on those changes. We're expecting an assessor recommendation on this by Thursday. And Mr. Schmidt has left.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Claudette Irvine. protest number 899, I believe. Crandall Enterprises LLC.
I appreciate your time in listening to what's going on. I've been a business owner for 23 years in apartment buildings throughout the near south. We keep our buildings in excellent shape, and we've progressed throughout the decades. I have one building at 1900 South 13th Street, which has a propensity for being problematic for the neighborhood. I mean, not my building, but the neighborhood is problematic. I have brought pictures showing conditional situations. I don't know where the camera is, anyway.
No red projector. You
I
want to
don't
lay
know
it
how
down?
any of this works. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Go ahead and set it down on the face up. Yep.
Like that? Oh, cool. The tax evaluation to this particular building I have is income-based. And the income-based assessment has greatly grown since the last time I protested. I think it was 2014 or 2015. So I've been trying to raise my rents in relationship to the assessment of tax of income-based property. However, their building at 1329 Peach Street has been vacant for over 18 years. That is my neighbor. That's on the other side of my parking fence. This building has transients going in and out. It has innumerable fires. The police were there actually again yesterday, 3 different patrol cars. I've called the police, I've called the owner, I've done everything. I've even actually mowed the grass on occasion. I've got an issue that the landlord does not pay any attention to it. As a matter of fact, this morning I went over there and this was on the door, had been there. It is actually faded, but it's a request from you people concerning his tax base. The fire department was there this week. This mattress is on fire. It was there for several days. I finally pulled it back into the driveway so that it would not be as visible. However, 2 more tenants are leaving my building because of this vacant property. And I would like my tax base lowered for the renewal of tenants residing with me rather than trying to meet the income-based assessment when the property is in turmoil on the other side of my fence. And one of their comments was, well, if this mattress is on fire, why is the landowner not paying attention to their building? Well, they haven't in 18 years. Both of these tenants park along the fence, and their concern is if the building catches on fire, then it's going to go to the garage, then it's going to go to the fence, and it's going to go to the cars, and so they're moving. I've had issues for the past decade plus with keeping quality tenants for this particular building. We're standard, I believe. It's no smoking, no pets, no recent felonies, all that kind of thing. This is directly across from the approach to my building. That roadside curb appeal is not attractive to try to rent additional apartments. I have 5 apartments open now in the last couple of weeks because of the fire, the condition of the area. This again is 1329 Peach. This is the back door. All the building, this entire building, which is my neighbor on the other side of the fence, is not boarded shut. It's open to vagrants. There's all ages coming in and out, not only old, but young. It's a concern of mine. The issue for this picture is that inside this door, they're using, this building is a privy. They're in there spending nights, and the feces is there by the back door. Now they're using my dumpster. My tenants are complaining of the smell. I've called the garbage hauler, trying to figure out what to do. I've been to health and safety. I've been to building and safety, the health department. And again, because of the income base on the property in this area, I'm not being able to rent to quality people because of the actions. Who wants to rent an apartment building when there's police cars there a couple times a week, actually, sometimes? And when I've gone to the police department to get the printout, they don't always do the ticket. So I don't have the record. I could go out and take pictures every time. So anyway, I've contacted the homeowner. All the doors and windows are either broken or insecure. My income suffers because of this building. The dumpster's a bathroom station along with the inside of the building. Within the past 2 weeks, we've had the police come and the fire department for this mattress burning. It is still there. I pulled it back so it wouldn't be seen. Again, I'm having trouble renting the apartments. The quality of my building, I would say, is over and above what is in the near south. We keep our properties as if our own family members would be in them. I'm just asking for a lower tax base, if at all possible, so that I can keep my buildings full with a lower income on each unit until something happens to this area in the near south. I do have this letter to submit and also these pictures.
Okay, and I think Commissioner Shore has a question.
I just have a question. If you've reached out to the mayor's office to see if this property can be referred to the property resolution team?
I just found out about this team yesterday.
Okay, good. That sounds like what you need. I'm glad.
I mean, I had no idea.
Yep.
No one at the police department recommended that to me until yesterday. You know,
It's a great network of city and county agencies that work together to bring a resolution to these ongoing,
so
property
here's
concerns.
another issue too. So the police came out, really nice individual. He's the first one that recommended that, and I think he said 4 or 5 different entities would help me possibly with that. That has not helped me in the past, and it's not. And he said actually that it's not going to be immediate. It's going to take a while. So I'm continuing to lose tenants with my tax going up and not being able to increase my rent rolls to facilitate that. So then, because of the waste issue, using it as a privy, he said, well, you're gonna have to go to the health department or building and safety. So I go to I go to the health department for that and this, and they said, well, no, that's building and safety because that does not biodegrade. Okay, so I go back to building and safety on that one. But this is biodegradable. However, it's inside the house. So their hands are tied. The guy went around the house and said, well, there's a garbage can in the back. And I said, well, they're not using that as a privy. They're using my dumpster, which smells terrible. So I appreciate knowing now that there's maybe more help that can facilitate this problem. But that is not the only building around my apartment complex that is problematic. So I appreciate your time. This is just a little sidelight. So when I met with the referee, a nice, very polite young gentleman, my appointment was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and all he did was yawn, and his eyelids were at half-mast. So even though I gave information to him, documented information, pictures and printouts and everything, I just felt that I wasn't being heard. And I do know they taped it, but I came away disappointed. I just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, thank you for your time again. It's been actual and very pleasing insight to be able to come here and voice my disheartedness at the lack of participation of the city in keeping the near south neighborhood, especially my quadrant, in better shape. The last time I protested, I had 5 vacant houses around my apartment building. This time, there's probably only 3. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Howard Ragsdale. Protest 881, I believe.
Yeah, my issue's pale in comparison to hers, so I wish her the best of luck. I was successful in June during the process working with referee Haney of having my taxes reduced at about $3 a square foot. But I did provide in my handout a list of the homes in our neighborhood which are comparable and the taxable value that I computed per square foot, which ranged from 106 to ours of 124.86. The reduction we did receive, which is very much appreciated, took it down to 121 and some change. But that still has us significantly higher than other homes in the area, all of which were built by the same builder within about 3 years of each other. And I did a comparison of 10 homes, 4 of which have walkout basements, which we think should be at a higher value, of which mine is one. The rest are traditional ranch houses, although all have basements. And that's where the range comes from. The most closest house to ours actually has more square footage livable space, which should be the more expensive of the build. We do have the largest garage in the neighborhood, but I consider that a less expensive build. So those houses range from 113 to ours at 121, now 60. What I'm asking for is that we look at the 2 closest homes compared to ours, which are at 113.51 and at 116.05. Take the average of those, multiply it times our square foot, which gives us a value of about 496 instead of the 525 that we've now been valued at, and would add some additional savings to our tax bill. All the homes in the area are almost identical. They're brick, ranch, with the exception of the walkouts. Lot sizes are all very similar. Landscaping very similar. Building materials all very similar. But there is a wide range of the cost per square foot, which regardless of the size of the house, that to me should be dictated by the materials used. So rather simple request compared to maybe some others, but that is what I'm asking for. And you have a letter that I provided yesterday with that.
Any questions?
All right,
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Next is John Klein, protest number 811.
I own property at 824 South 16th, which is described as multi-units. I am making this protest because on the basis of revenue and condition. You have a sheet of paper somewhere, or you have it in your file that looks like this. It has columns on it. Has a year, has taxes, and it has income. If you look down the income column, it's all zeros to 1999. That was the last year that property generated any revenue. For the last 18 years, I've paid $29,831.35 taxes on value that probably was not even there. I protested this to have them look at that revenue, and then that revenue led to the condition. Now, down on at 1999, Orozco, that was Sean Orozco, he was the last tenant to move out. The reason of the move out is it's galvanized pipe in there, and it began leaking everywhere. So we had to shut the water off. There's nobody been living there since, and it's been deteriorating. My property is not a problem to anybody. In fact, the building to the north, 800 South 16th, is a problem for me. They're over on me all the time. And mine is taken care of. I still use the 3-room office in the front. In the 80s, we had a realty office, 3 of us there, and things were still rented. But since this has been deteriorating, it requires a lot of maintenance and upkeep, deferred maintenance to get it back to shape. I have submitted pictures and diagram of the floors of the building so you can see what the property is. But I'm just going to put one on here. I guess I'm going to. Where am I supposed to look now?
Just go ahead and set it on there, and then the camera will...
Look on there and then get out of there, huh? Okay. Here's 3 pictures of one apartment. That's the way it all looks. And you've got 8 pictures there. You can look at those. Now, I've had 2 break-ins, and the doors are in some of those other pictures. This came from the apartment building to the north. They have problems all of their, and these derelicts see my property, and here's something else people don't realize. The mail service helps you. They take all the mailbox labels off of the vacant apartments. And so they come look and they see the apartments that are vacant and they break in. So that's where my problems have come from. I want you to look at the condition of this property and the fact that there's been no revenue there forever. Now, the referee, supposedly, I come from years ago. 30 years ago, the referee would go out and look at your property. They don't do that anymore. This little referee, I don't think, even understood it. He kept asking me if I had an appraisal. I didn't have an appraisal. I was a licensed appraiser for 10 years and a real estate broker for 54 years and a professor at the university for 7 years. I didn't need an appraisal yet on this property, but I've sold all of my other property. The houses, the duplexes, a fourplex. I still have a 15-plex and a 5-plex. This is the problem property. Something's going to happen here. I'm not interested. The little referee, he said he would refer me to the assessor's office so they would come out and look at it. I don't want something for next year. I want something for this year. I turned 80 last month. And I'm gonna resolve this property, even if I have to just strip it down and let the county take it. I will sell it for probably 50, maybe 60,000. On my form, I put 58,000, and that's probably was a fair price. And something's going to happen here, and I'm asking you to give me something in about 58,000 for this year, not next year. I don't need this little referee to tell me that. I can go in and talk to Norm Agana in January or February without his referral. But I need remedy for this year, because by another year I'm going to be free of this property, and I've already paid $29,000 on it. So that's what I'm asking you to do.
Just to clarify, and to the
Okay.
public as well, is that the way the process works is the on-site inspection done by the assessor's office can be done at the request of the property owner before the process during that informal hearing at the beginning of the year, but then also it can be done after the Board of Equalization takes final action during the Turk process. And so, but yeah, the referees that we contract with, they don't do on-site inspections, and that's something that is, I think it had been done in the past, but with the numbers that we deal with, we just don't have that opportunity.
Well, I wasn't aware of that when
I know.
like I said, I
I know.
had several back 25 years ago. The referee would go out. The referee had the power to resolve this and did.
And I
And
think
apparently
back, I
now-
think back then you had fewer protests, but based
I'm
off,
sure that was the case. I'm sure.
don't have the resources. It become very costly. But again, the county assessor's office does do a good job with the informal hearing that they do at the beginning of the year, and they will come out and do an on-site inspection, and they will even do it after we take action during the Turk process.
But does that apply to this year, or?
It would if you were to, not agree with our determination, then you would, your other avenue of remedy would be filing a appeal with Turk, the Tax Equalization Review Commission, and then they would be having the opportunity to come out and do a site inspection, and again.
Well, I know this.
And it comes down to trying to find that alternative value.
Yeah, I know this about the property, is that I'm not going to go into more and more years and pay that tax the way I've done over the last 18 years. And so I want to resolve this now and be free of this. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do that. I have not been a problem to anybody. That building has never been a problem to anybody. And I'm in the near south too, and I understand what she's saying, because the building to the north has 20 units and it's been shut down because of the druggies in there. So I'm getting problems from other people. But my building has problems, as you see in the pictures. And let me just outline what those are. It's the plumbing. It's the leakage around the basement, and that's shown in those pictures. It needs windows. There's 41 windows, and they're so loose that the heat can't keep up with them. And then you're gonna have to go in and refurbish all these apartments, and I don't think 5,000 a unit on average will do it. One apartment it will, but not the other 5 apartments. So there's probably, by my estimate, somewhere approaching 100,000 to be put in there. I'm not gonna spend 6 months of what life I have left and $100,000 to do that. And if I can't get some relief, I'm gonna just walk through this building. And I want to work with you, but I just don't, I just can't keep doing this. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Dave Claus, or Klaus. Protest 542.
I wasn't prepared totally, my dress, but I turned my shirt inside out. But I have a property on 109, 111 B Street, and I didn't agree with my referee that my neighbor's, the condition of my neighbor's property had no bearing on the price of my property. And I can show you a picture. I should turn it this way. That's my property on 109, 111 B Street. This is a picture of the backyard of my neighbor's property, which looks a little bit like Tijuana. This is a picture of their roof with their lean-to attached to my fence. This is a picture of their side yard and a fence that is made of multiple pieces of wood. There's another picture of the same fence surrounding it. And I just thought my referee didn't listen to me either, and he said, well, your value has gone up from $79,000 to $91,800. I have a property across the street, which is the exact same carbon copy of 109, 111. This value went up $1,000. So I've got this, I don't understand the difference between these two properties are a picket fence and a fence in front of the yard, an American flag in the front yard. So I just thought I needed someone to tell me why $12,000 needs to be added to the valuation of that particular duplex, and that's all I got.
Any questions?
Other than I'm in a floodplain, and I know my realtor said that does detract. You know, these are duplexes built on a slab, so anything that's built there now has to be raised. But mine are on a slab, and so I'm paying $1,200 a year per duplex in insurance, flood insurance, although we haven't had one yet. We did come close a couple of years ago. But I just thought some consideration could be given to this property, and thank you.
Dave, did you provide photos of, the copy of those photos to the clerk's office?
Oh, sure, I gave them to my referee as well.
Okay.
But I don't think he listened.
Will someone verify that those,
No, but I can give these to you, sure.
I mean, if you submitted them to the referee, would someone just verify that they're in that packet? Jared, could you go pull that packet 542 and just verify that there's photos in there? Otherwise, we'll keep another set, I guess, if they're not. So Jared's back in the orange shirt, Dave, if you want to go talk to him.
Okay,
He'll
thank you
verify.
very much.
Yep, thank you. Kristen Mark Lubke, 596.
Hello.
Heather.
Hi. I better do something bold after all of that. Okay, well, we live at 2761 Cable Avenue.
Can you hold on one second, please? Mr. Klaus? Mr. Klaus? Oh. Yeah, take that conversation out into the hallway, please. Thanks. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. just restart my timer.
Yep.
We will.
Restart the time.
Okay. We live at 2761 Cable Avenue, and our tax value of our house was increased by $36,000 this year, to $135,600. And we protested that, and they did lower it to $122,500. Thank you for that. But the square footage of our house is 877 square feet, so it's not a very big house. We have a 2-stall garage. I guess we don't mind doing our part tax-wise, but in comparison to the houses around us, there's a huge disparity, which I would like to present here. This is 2716 Cable Avenue. It has 1,076 square feet, so 200 more than we do. Plus, it also has a huge outbuilding in the back, and its value is at $111,400, so quite a bit less than even our revised. This is 2749 Cable Avenue, and it has 1,110 square feet, so 300 more square feet than our house, and is valued at only $107,000. I tried to pick properties that were in very similar condition to our house. This one is probably the most compelling. It's right across the street from us, and it's in very similar condition. This house has 200 more square feet than our house does, and yet it's only valued at $92,000, which is $30,000 less than the reduced value that you've given us. It has a 2-stall garage like our house does, but it also has an additional 1-stall garage. And so their taxes are at least $1,000 less a year than what we would be paying. This is 2754 Cable Avenue. It has 1,336 square feet, which is 500 more than what we have, and yet its tax value is only $100,800.
So just one quick question. Do you know, are those adjacent properties, are they rented or are they owner occupied?
Most of them are owner occupied. There might be a couple of rentals on the street, but most of them are owner occupied. This is 2735 Cable Avenue, and it has 1,123 square feet and is valued at only $82,000. 2811 Cable Avenue, 1,516 square feet, so like 700 more square feet than what we have, and is valued at only $99,000. This one kind of surprised me. This is 2810 Cable Avenue, and if you recall, the original increase was for our house was for like 135 something. This house literally has twice the square footage. It's 1,671 square feet, and yet its tax value is only $133,000. 2945 Cable Avenue, square footage, 1,020 square feet, and yet its tax value is $92,000. And then my last example here is 2951 Cable Avenue, and it's on a corner, has a much bigger lot than ours. It's got 1,453 square feet, 2-stall garage like what we have, but it's only valued at $102 compared to the reduced amount that we have at $122. And so I guess that since you're the Board of Equalization, we would just like for you to make it more equal, because it seems like there's such a large disparity between the increase in our property and the other similar properties around us.
Commissioner Amundson?
Do you know if there's any discrepancy or any difference in terms of a finished basement?
That I don't know, but our basement's not finished.
Your basement is not finished?
No, and the only thing that we have done in recent years to our house is put a new roof on it.
Oh, and that's
Other than
maintenance.
that, we've done nothing that would bear this kind of increase in value.
How long have you lived there?
Well,
I've lived there about 25 years.
yeah.
Okay.
Probably relative to the value of our neighbor's house.
You
our
want to
house is
scoot a
always-
little bit closer to the microphone, please?
I mean,
Thank you.
Relative to the value of our neighbor's house, our house has probably been overvalued for quite a while.
Yeah, because it was valued at 99,000, and we noticed that the house across the street that I told you is just now valued at 92. Prior to this year was only valued at 66,000. And so I guess what I'm saying is we've probably been paying more in taxes than the people around us for a while. We've just been married like not quite 2 years, and I think pay more attention to these kind of details than he may have in the past. And so that's what brings us here. So I think a more fair valuation would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 110,000, just if you look at these other examples that I've given you.
Well, and I'm sure the referee probably asked you this, but did you have like a appraisal or any type of market analysis done by like a realtor to kind of determine what the alternative value might be? Because that's really what the question is I know that we talk a lot about what the, again, adjoining properties are assessed at, but it really is the market value of the individual property. And so if there was any way that could be provided, and I think that's, so if your other properties adjacent to it are undervalued, I mean, that kind of would demonstrate that, but.
Has there been
Commissioner
a lot
Robinson?
of market, have there been quite a few houses sold in this particular area?
Well, I think that the houses that she's illustrated would all sell for vastly more than,
What they're assessed at.
yeah.
Okay, we can check that out, but you have put together really some interesting comparisons.
Yeah, well, I hope you will give it some consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Can I just ask one
Commissioner
question?
Brinkman
I'm
has a
sorry.
question.
I just to clarify, the increase in valuation to 135 happened last year, correct? Because looking at the
Well, for
worksheet
2017.
for 2017, right? So then this year, when I looked at the referee information, it looked like the value last year was the same as this year. So I'm just trying to clarify, the increase
Well,
happened
it's-
last year.
Yeah, it's confusing because it's like in arrears or whatever.
In arrears.
All I
Yeah,
know
that's
is
it.
that we changed our homeowner's insurance and it was a lot less, but then I got a letter from the bank saying our escrow was in shortage by like $900. And I was like, how did that happen? And then that's when I saw, oh my gosh, they increased our taxes by, or the value of our house by $36,000.
Okay, that clarifies it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You married a very smart woman.
And post. Protest number 34 and 478.
Good morning. So I am here, I have two separate properties and two separate clients that I have, I'm speaking on behalf of today. So we will start with the property at 4600 Innovation Drive. I have copies of this information for the board. I've also already provided it to the referees. So to start, my name is Ann Post. I'm an attorney with Baylor Evnen Law Firm. And I'm here today on behalf of my client, Nelnet Real Estate Ventures, regarding the valuation of the property at 4600 Innovation Drive. So the county had originally assessed this property at a value of $12,657,100. After protest, the referee recommended a value of $7,350,000. And I'm here today because the actual value of this property is $3,894,256.25 is what we've got. That is a very specific number for y'all. So why is that the value? Well, under Nebraska law, the property is taxed at its actual value. And actual value, when we say actual value, what we're trying to reach is what this price this property would bring when it's put up for sale. And so there's several times where we don't really know what that is, and we look for our best guess, where we look at comparable sales, we look at use the income approach or the cost approach to try and guess what that number is. But in the end, they're all estimates. In this case, we have an actual sale of the property to inform our value for this property. In this case, 4600 Innovation Drive was sold at public auction on June 21st, 2018. So that was just over a month ago. And the sale closed on July 23rd, 2018. There were 4 bidders at the sale. Each bidder was provided extensive due diligence documentation, including a Phase 1 environmental review, operating statements for 2016 and 2017, the ground lease that is on the property, an extensive property condition report, a site plan, a survey, roof warranty, and title commitment. So at the opening of this auction, they had all of this information to review. They were well-informed bidders who got the chance to bid on the property. At this auction, the seller set a reserve price, and they reserved the right to reject any bid and not sell the property. This means that if the bids didn't come in as high as they felt the seller felt this property was worth, they could back out of the deal. At the end of this process, the winning bid was for $5,512,000. Now that bid, as you notice, that's not the actual price that we're talking about today. And that's because that bid included extensive personal property that was included with the sale. That is workstations, desks, conference tables. We actually went in and did an inventory of all of this personal property, and we've included that inventory in the packet that we've provided you today and that we've provided the referees previously. That personal property is around a value of $1,618,243.75. So that's not the replacement value. That's not what we think the value of that property is new. That's what we estimate the value is today for that personal property. And so that is where we get the value of what was paid at the sale minus the value of the personal property, and we come up with our very specific actual value of this property, what the price that was paid at auction at a market sale of this property of $3,894,256,025. With that, I would be happy to take any questions on this.
Any questions on this? Yeah, I mean, that definitely does explain that exact number.
Try to give you all the information. So.
Get that. Okay, I don't think there's any questions on that property. If you wanna...
Mr. Chair, should we reset the timer or?
Absolutely, yeah, this
Okay.
is a completely
Thank you.
separate property, so.
Okay.
I have a separate packet of information for this property. I promise this one is much smaller. Again, my name is Ann Post. I'm an attorney with Baylor Ebden Law Firm, and I am here today on behalf of my client, the 401 Building LLC, regarding valuation of a property located at 2001 L Street. Now, let me bring up a map of this property, and that'll inform our discussion. So originally, the county had assessed this property at a value of $108,600. After protest, the referee's recommended valuation was $60,700. And I'm here today to request that the actual value of this property is $28,800. So let me first start with the history of this parcel and how it came to be owned by my client. As you can see, this is L Street, is the major street. This property does not have access off of L Street. This is 20th Street, and here we have a few of the this is the 401 building, and a few of the buildings in the newly renovated, remodeled, developed Telegraph District. So my client originally bought this property as part of a much larger transaction. It was the throw-in lonely parcel included in an over $4 million real estate purchase that involved several of the properties located in the Telegraph District. Now, through inadvertent error, this lonely, vacant, undeveloped parcel was left out of the final deed at the final closing of that transaction. So a few months later, when that was realized, the parties went back and the seller conveyed this piece of property to my client, the buyer. And so at the time of that transfer, the assessed value of this property was $60,700. And I know I provide some of that information because when looking at the referee's recommended value from our protest to today, they dropped that value to $60,700, which was what the previous assessed value was. And admittedly, the value listed on the real estate transfer statement at the time that property was deeded to my client. And so what I can tell you is that the purchase price of that property was included within that $4 million larger transaction. The purchase price for each parcel was not broken out. And at the time that that property was transferred and the real estate transfer statement was filled out, yes, it was a sale, and that's why it was listed as a sale. And the assessed value was $60,700, and that is why that's the value that was listed on that statement. Because at that point, the paramount concern was getting that deed recorded, and it was more important to get that deed recorded than quibble over maybe what $30 in doc stamp tax that would have hinged on the value that was put on that. So when we're looking at what this value should be, the most comparable properties to look at are the two directly adjacent properties. We're looking at 2005 L Street and 2011 L Street. These properties are both have houses on them. They are used for residential use. So while they are comparable in size and shape, the difference is that they actually have a useful purpose right now, as opposed to 2001 L Street, which is a commercial property that is vacant, and due to its size, shape, and dimensions, it's unlikely to be able to be developed by itself at this time or any time in the near future. Therefore, in looking at the value of these two adjacent properties, the real estate and just the land value of these two properties is assessed at $21,000 each. This comes to an average of $3.83 per square foot, and applying that to my client's property at 2001 L Street, we come to a appropriate value of $28,800 for 2001 L Street. With that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
So just, and maybe you know this, I probably do, what are the properties zoned as? Are they still zoned residential or are they commercial?
There's in the B4 zoning district.
B4, okay. All three parcels?
I believe all three parcels.
Okay.
So that is extremely permissive, allows a wide range of uses.
Yes,
Yes, you know.
we've been well educated on B4. Any other questions?
Was that map included in the materials?
Yes,
Okay.
it's in the packet that was
Okay,
provided.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else here wishing to speak about a property? Okay, as I had mentioned earlier, we'll go ahead and continue this discussion on Thursday at 10 o'clock. We'll take final action on all the property valuations. So with that, back to the agenda.
Next we have, is there any other public comment?
Yeah,
No?
anyone
Okay.
anyone from the public wishing to speak on an agenda item that's not on the agenda? I'm sorry. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda but related to the Board of Equalization, please come forward. Seeing none.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we are adjourned. Have a good week.